Dan, thanks so much for joining me.
Great to be here. It's a pleasure to speak with you, especially, we talk when we launch the ETF.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that ETF because big milestone this week, Dan. And not only that, I mean, we get so much news this week as it relates to the AI trade. We got big tech out there, earnings wise. We got Jensen Huang's keynote in the GTC conference. We got this summit between Chinese President Xi and Trump. I want to talk about all of that, but let's first talk about this big milestone for your ETF, the Dan Ives Wedbush AI Revolution ETF. It crossed $1 billion in assets under management less than 5 months after launching. How did that happen, Dan? Why is it attracting so much attention?
But look, it's this very simple thesis, right? I mean, investors around the world know us, they know how we focus on tech. And it was really trying to find like who the winners are, like in the AI revolution, second, third, fourth derivative, breaking it down, software, cybersecurity, chips, autonomous. And I think it's resonated. And remember, it's a living organism, right? It's like every quarter we make additions and subtractions, and it's been a great few months.
Yeah, and it's been performing very well. I think the returns got into the high 30s in terms of returns since the launch. When you compare that to something like the Nasdaq 100, it was up something like 20%. So it's almost double the gain in the Nasdaq. For people who aren't familiar with the strategy of the ETF, can you talk a little bit about it, Dan? I know it technically follows an index, but then again, that index is based on your AI report. So is it you who's essentially deciding what's in this ETF?
Yeah, it's our Ives AI 30, right? I mean, that's reports that we write. It's it's different categories: software, chips, autonomous, disruptive technology, consumer. Look, the reason we wanted to launch the ETF, it's because it's trying to play the winners in the second, third, fourth derivatives of AI. And I think that's where we are. I mean, it's a fourth industrial revolution, but not every company that says they're an AI company is. So for us, it's trying to find the winners, and that's the way that the ETF's built.
And do you think the portfolio, Dan, is going to change a lot or it's going to remain pretty stable? Right now, you look at it and it's got a lot of hot AI names, obviously like Nvidia, Tesla, things like that. Do you expect that to change going forward?
I mean, look, it's more around the edges that it changes, but it's all different themes, right? Like, if there's more energy, right? Are there more GE Renovas? Are there more Akkus? Like, it's trying to understand like how the theme, like, are there more cybersecurity names?
Yeah.
Is it more software driven than chips? It's all about the theme, right? Like as the theme plays out, and that's our whole focus.
Do you think that is going to change right now? Obviously, a lot of money flowing into the infrastructure layer, the chips and the data centers and things like that. Whereas the big tech companies that provide the applications, they're spending a ton of money, cash flows, kind of going down. Do you think that's going to flip at some point?
I mean, it's a capex super cycle, and that's going to continue to play out for the next few years. And there's a tech bull market in the next 2 to 3 years. It could go in ebbs and flows in terms of which areas, chip, software, and others. But to me, like that's why we're so excited to have an ETF like this at this moment.
Dan, the biggest company in all of this is obviously Nvidia, and Jensen made some comments earlier this week.
Yep.
There's a little confusion about it. He said $500 billion of GPU sales, but people weren't sure what time frame he was referring to. What's your take on, where Nvidia is in terms of its market position? Is it going to remain the dominant company? And could this become a $10 trillion company because it just crossed $5 trillion this
Yeah. I mean, look, we just got back from Asia, like demand to supplies 10 to 1, 12 to 1 for NVIDIA chip. I mean, they continue to be the company that's fueling the AI revolution. And we've talked about it. I mean, this could be $6 trillion market cap, as you go into next year. And I think what you're seeing with Jensen is just it's planting flags around the world when it comes to from a capacity perspective. But look, in terms of our ETF, now obviously AMD, Broadcom, Micron, others are going to benefit as well. Look, in my opinion, they're just in such a massive position of strength, and there's only one godfather of AI, that's Jensen.
The crazy part is it's accomplished all of this with China revenue essentially zero
Yeah,
at this point. Do you think that will come back at any
yeah,
point? You think so?
definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's a better chance of me playing for Dodgers than that revenue not come back.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. And, obviously Nvidia was in the news this week, but a lot of the other big tech companies as well. There's kind of a mixed bag in terms of the market reaction to the earnings that we saw. Meta went down over 10%. Amazon went up over 10%. Can you talk a little bit about Meta? Was that reaction justified? People were worried about how
No,
much they're spending, or it's not?
that's what you want to see. It's an AI arms race.
Yeah.
You want to see them spend. And I could care to me, it's yeah, free cash flow profits get hit, but the reality is like you're building out for the AI revolution. You want to see them focus on capex. I think that reaction was way overdone, in my opinion. I view it as table pounder name to own. Look, to summarize, when you look at big tech earnings, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, it validates the hype.
Yeah.
That's what it does. Anyone that's calling bubble, then they haven't seen earnings intact the last 2 weeks.
I guess, final thing I want to touch on, Tesla. This is a company that is going hard into AI, especially when it comes to FSD
Mhm.
and humanoid robots. Do you think those safety drivers are going to come out of the cars when it comes to the robo taxis anytime soon?
Yeah, Musk talked about it. I mean, look, geofence area is expanding massively in Austin. I think, 10 cities probably by the end of the year, probably 30 cities, over the next, call it 6 months. Look, this is an autonomous and robotics play. Physical AI, along with Nvidia, Tesla's the best one, in my opinion. Musk, wartime CEO. And I think it's going to, that's really the foot. I think autonomous worth $1 trillion alone to the market.
And is humanoid robots something we could actually expect to hit the market in the next handful of years, or is that
Oh, I
longer?
think in the next 2 years.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And I gotta ask you, Palantir, this stock just keeps going up and up and up. Is there any concern about the valuation there?
The bears in hibernation mode, they don't see AI in the spreadsheets.
Yeah.
I mean, this is $1 trillion valuation next 2 or 3 years. Par is in the Mount Rushmore of CEOs. And I think it just speaks like they're changing really the tech world in terms of what they're doing at Palantir.
Dan, when you announced that your fund crossed $1 billion in assets under management earlier this week, there was a quote in there from you saying that we're still early in this game. How early are we? And is this ultimately going to end in a bubble? Some people think we already are. Obviously, you don't think so, but can it become a bubble eventually?
But the haters hate. They missed every transformational tech stock last 20 years, right? I mean, it's my view the party started at 9 p.m. It's now 10:30 p.m. Party goes to 4 a.m. And the
Wow.
bears, they'll watch the party through the windows, seeing the party doesn't even look that fun from the outside. Bulls and Bears could Sam at the diner. Bulls had a lot better night than the Bears.
Dan, so much great information. Really want to thank you for taking the time and
Thank
congrats
you.
again
Great to be
on
here.
reaching 1
And
billion.
thanks so
Huge
much,
milestone.
seriously, and for following it. Thank you.